Good morning. It's Tuesday, December 8th. Welcome to The Street Live. I'm Catherine Ross, and I am joined by Jim Cramer. Jim, the Dow is down, the S&P is down, and the NASDAQ
It's
is also
early.
down.
It's early. It's early. Here's what I think's happening. I think that there is a belief, and if you take a look at one stock that may be in command right now, the stock is Toll Brothers. The stock's down $4. And people are saying maybe the great housing boom is over because we have a vaccine coming and everyone who has to move has moved. And the price of housing is going down. That's something that Toll Brothers flagged in its release last night. I think that that is the source of the weakness today. And I say don't sweat the program. There are many other areas where the baton's been handed to. Housing's not the only one anymore, and I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
Jim, I'm glad that you mentioned Toll Brothers because that was your mad dash this morning. I mean, we've spoken to a lot of home renovation CEOs over the past couple of months, and we're seeing this boon in the business. So would you recommend buying a stock like Toll Brothers, or is there another one that you like more?
Well, I do like Lennar more, but this is a group that has 9 lives. And I think there's a lot of people who feel it's enough is enough. I prefer, just so you know, my favorite in the group is now Whirlpool, because I think Whirlpool's doing some really unbelievable things. But I'm not crazy about the group. We don't have anything for action alerts in the segment, just nothing. And I don't think this Toll Brothers is tempting for me. Not yet, not now.
So, Jim, this morning your real money column really focused on another stay-at-home play, and that's Costco. But it
Yes,
also, you really emphasize something to the pros. And in this environment, as we know,
the
with
professionals.
COVID-19 pandemic, that's really the scientific and medical professionals who have been talking about how we should be approaching the pandemic. And I'm wondering if for our investors watching, is it time to not only look at a balance sheet, but also add in some homework about the pandemic itself, about the virus itself?
Yes, look, I think that my piece is largely about the notion of the professional and the amateur. The amateur is saying, well, look, there's no reason to close the restaurant. We let people into Costco. And the professional says, wait a second, there are rules, and the rules are not foolish. And I'm tired of the amateurs asserting themselves as professionals because it's embarrassing to them, and they should know better. And that's kind of where I come from, which is that, like, listen, if you're watching a football game and you say, well, that was a terrible pass, I think the quarterback stinks. Tony Romo might say, no, take a look at what happened here. There was a blitz. It wasn't picked up by this, by the, it wasn't picked up by the left tackle, and then it wasn't picked up by the running back. And that caused the pressure, which caused the quarterback to throw the ball away. And, that's a professional view versus the amateur's view, which is that the quarterback sucks. And it's time for the professionals to reassert themselves because there's been too long, particularly in this administration, where the amateurs have been in charge. Witness the fact that one of the things that happened this morning was that a board member of Pfizer, Dr. Scott Gottlieb, said that that Pfizer came to President Trump's people and said, "Listen, we have 100 million vaccines for you," and they didn't. He said multiple times they asked, and the president turned it down. Now, there'll be an alternative set of facts, I'm sure, which is going to dispute that. But there is Dr. Gottlieb's profession. The president's an amateur, and sometimes what you have to do if you're an amateur is you defer to the professionals. There's no reason to believe that Scott Gottlieb was trying to bag the president. He's a pro.
So speaking of Pfizer, Jim, Pfizer and BioNTech, that vaccine was actually first distributed in the UK this morning. The first vaccine dose
Right.
did go to a 90-year-old woman. Now, I want to remind everyone that this is a 2-dose vaccine and that the second dose is actually given after 21 days. But Jim, did this give you hope for the emergency use authorization from the Food and Drug Administration that we could get as soon as the end of this week?
There is an article going around in a publication called Green Mantle, which is from London, which talks about the coming vaccine glut. There'll be a glut in the first quarter. And that's because so many companies are making vaccines. So I believe that a lot of the rally we've had is anticipation of the vaccine glut. And it's very exciting because, and here's the Dow's up. It's very exciting because what's going to happen is that the tyranny of the disease is going to end. Now, there's lots of people who are proud of themselves of being want to be anti-vaxxers. At the same time, there are a lot of people proud of themselves, but they don't wear masks. And I say these people are ass clowns because you should never be proud of yourself for being doing something stupid, even if you think it's independent. I mean, the idea these people obviously didn't live through the era of polio, as I did, where if you didn't take the vaccine, you were an ass clown. And I have no way of viewing these people as anything else but, because they don't understand that, let's say this disease is kicking around 3 years from now. Well, it's their fault. And they don't want to bear that brunt. They just want to tell us how much better they are, how much more American they are, how much tougher they are. And I think it's a shame, because I think that's the kind of thing that's foolhardy. Ask President Eisenhower. I'm with Eisenhower in this.
Jim, Pfizer is not the only vaccine candidate, as we all know, but we did also get news this morning that Johnson & Johnson is looking at late January for their late-stage trial results. I mean, what does this tell you about, could there be 3 vaccine candidates that we see rolled out before the spring?
This is the vaccine glut that I'm talking about. And the reason why there can be a vaccine glut is very important. There is so much COVID raging in this country that the vaccination is something that we can find out almost instantly whether it works or not, because the placebo is getting when you look at this, remember, left arm, right arm is the way you have to look at it. The placebo is, those people are getting COVID left and right, okay? The people of the vaccine who are also in the same horrible areas aren't getting COVID. So, I mean, again, I refer to these people who don't take they don't want to take the vaccine. It's like, get the hell away from me. I mean, because this is very, very clear that this is working. And I am very excited about, because there is so much COVID, J&J can accelerate its time frame. And J&J, I believe, because I had emergent biosystems, J&J was making a billion vaccines, betting that it would work. That's my understanding. I don't know if they made a billion, but that's it. I mean, we get that, then we're on our way. Now, emerging markets, they have to still get the vaccine, but I think that we'll be traveling. I think we'll be doing things. Will we still wear our masks? Yeah, because of the anti-vaxxers. But it is going to be a change of pace. We're going to go out.
One of the benefits from the pandemic, and I hate to put it like that, but one of the things that we've really seen that you and I have been working towards for years is getting younger investors in the market, and we're seeing that now with the with the resurgence of Robinhood traders. And last night on Mad Money, you really focused heavily on the importance of younger investors, and this kind of tied into an article I was reading yesterday on Market Watch that actually said that 1 in 10 employers have suspended 401k contribution matching during the pandemic. And I'm wondering, what kind of advice do you have for any investor watching this, young or old, quite frankly, that is worried about their retirement?
Young investors have to roll the dice. They can put some money away, but they got to find the next test. It's what they should be doing, whether it be Roku, Virgin Galactic, Ring Central, I don't care. Because if they don't hit it, if they strike out, they have the rest of their life to make the money back, okay? Your 401k match, your 401k you can't pick stocks. It's IRA that you can pick stocks. I think that as you get older, obviously, you have to be more index fund, more selective, but you should still own stocks. Remember, I am challenging the orthodoxy that's built up in the last 20 years that people are stupid. I think people are smart. I think this younger generation is smarter than we are. They know how to research better. I will be pilloried by these people who are vested interest. I have no vested interest. Why am I saying this? Because I'm irresponsible? No, because I've studied this thing endlessly. And I have no crisis of confidence about this. I know whereof I speak. As you get older, you got to be more conservative, but the younger people have to find the next Ring Central. That should be their job.
So this morning in Stop Trading, Jim, you mentioned Disney, and Disney, you say that Disney is one of the best companies to own, but I'm wondering, how can investors really balance the negative? I mean, we do know that we're going to get a vaccine possibly by the summer, so the Parks
Right.
and Cruise division will probably get a boost from that, but that's
Yes.
still going to be a negative impact on Disney until we get that. But there is
Well,
the
when we
streaming
have the
business, which is doing so much better than expected.
vaccine glut is unbelievable for Disney. Christine McCarthy, the excellent CFO, signing on until 2022 to complete the pivot. I just think that we have to understand that a vaccine glut is nirvana for a company like Disney, and they'll be able to have stock go right to 175. We own a fraction alerts. I feel very confident about it.
So, Jim, Tesla's in the headlines this morning. They
Yes.
are going to be selling about $5 billion worth of shares in preparation for their S&P 500 debut later this month. But their stock was kind of under pressure this morning. So do you think now is the right time for this kind of announcement?
Tesla will probably be up. Look, I think that Tesla, the younger people have a different view about capital raise than the older people. Younger people love the capital raises, Carnival, Norwegian Cruise, just love them. I think that they don't see this at the market sale of common stock as being negative. I think they think it's being positive because it's going to allow Tesla to be able to build all the plants at once without having to take down more debt. They look at it from the point of view of multiple years. When you try to talk someone when you try to talk someone who owns Tesla to sell a little Tesla, the resistance is just horrendous. I think that people should take out their cost basis. I'm old fashioned. I like to take off enough money so that if the stock went to zero, you'd still make money. That's kind of where I'm from. But there's no doubt about it that I think that it is the greatest story ever told. And all they do is take advantage of the fact that people keep buying it up, which is Elon Musk being very smart. But they need the money to be able to sure they build the right trucking factory in Austin and the German factory. And to be ready to expand in China or do whatever they want in solar. And I think that we all have to accept the fact that the money, that they know how to use the money.
Another company quite like, Jim, is Apple, and Apple unveiled their $549 over-the-ear headphones this morning. I know that we focused on the importance of services, but does the ecosystem that they're building with their products make Apple enough of a buy for you? And I also want to ask, would you buy the headphones?
I've been recommending since $5, so the answer is of course. Since $5, and I've said own it, don't trade it. I think that this is, I have to try the earbuds out before I buy them. And the reason I say that is because it doesn't sound like usual AirPods that I love my Apple noise canceling AirPods, but maybe this is better. I don't know. I mean, one of the things that I've learned about Apple is they tend to have the thing I want without my knowing that I wanted it, which is really one of the reasons why I think Apple stock is way too cheap. I also, look, obviously, every time they do something, they pick up another user of the phone. User of the phone backs up pictures. User of the phone takes a Apple Plus. I mean, there's so many users of the phone, plays more games over and over and over again. There's more to joining it. I mean, there was a magazine that I wanted to subscribe to. I mean, I'll go to the website for the magazine. I'll go right to the Apple store. Well, that's what you do. And it is the American way to buy things through Apple.
Speaking of the American way, Jim, last night there was quite a shock with the Washington football team actually beating the Steelers. I mean, that was quite a game. And I know that later this afternoon, you and Bill Enright will be having your bull market fantasy show. So I'm excited to see what kind of advice you have for our lineups, because as always, you know that my lineup needs it.
Well, it's Carson Palmer's on, the great quarterback that led me to the Super Bowl a long time ago. We're going to get some actual tips from a professional who follows Mad Money and follows Squawk on the Street. And I think that that Bill Enright and I will try to figure out whether we can get a sense of of how real Alex Smith is. He sure seems very real. I don't know. The Giant defense seems very real. I believe that the Cowboys beat the Ravens tonight. There's football every day.
You believe that the Cowboys will beat the Ravens tonight?
Ravens look terrible. It just looked terrible.
Jim, look, I'm a Cowboys fan. I love hearing you say that.
Look, I think that did you ever look at the Giants versus the Seahawks? I mean, really.
Okay,
But
no,
the
that's
Giants
fair.
defense is fabulous.
Can you
So,
imagine what
we'll
that would
talk
do to
about
the
it with
NFC
Bill.
East?
The NFC, look, there was a great contest that I ran on DraftKings where if you thought that all the NFC East teams were going to lose, you could make some money. Well, that obviously was a bad call. But I think the NFC East is getting a bad name. It's just a late starter.
Look, that's both of our divisions, so I'm happy to hear you say that, Jim. And
Yeah.
with that, we are going to head on over to our Action Alerts Plus members only call, which you can watch at actionalertsplus.com. And I don't want you guys to forget, because tomorrow is a huge day for Jim and his team over at Action Alerts Plus, because they're going to have their monthly members only call live at
People like that
11:30.
call.
Yes, you got to tune in. All right, with that, I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.